Welcome back to this week's edition of Honey from the Word. Today's devotion is titled The Hand of the Lord from Isaiah chapter 59, the first part of verse 1. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save. The phrase, the hand of the Lord, is what is called an anthropomorphic expression, explaining God in human language. You see, God doesn't have a real hand. He is spirit, but it explains it in human language so we can understand. Hands are specifically constructed for taking hold of objects. The hand talks of strength as well as gentleness. I want to talk to you about some special aspects concerning the hand of the Lord. First of all, God has a creating hand. Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 and 27 say, Then God said, Let us make man in our own image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female. Psalms 102, verse 25 says, Of old you laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. The heavens and the earth, and all that is in the heavens and the earth, are products of the hand of the Lord. Of course, his greatest creation and the crown of all his creation is mankind. We see God creating hand, for example, when we see some of the miracles that have occurred in people's lives. See, God He's not only was a God of creation, but he is now, at the present time, a God of creation. If you need it, he can create a miracle in your life. What about God's delivering hand? Psalms 91, verses 1 through 3. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him I will trust. Surely he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. Verses 14 and 15 it says, Because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. God has a delivering hand. He will deliver us from the snare of the enemy. Every one of you can probably remember how you've been delivered by the hand of God at one time or another. God is our deliverer. He will deliver us out of every trouble. God has a sustaining or a keeping hand. The word sustain means to maintain, to keep in existence, to keep supplied with necessities, to provide for, to support, carry the weight of. Isaiah 26 and 3 says, You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. God will sustain us. He will keep us in peace, even in the midst of life's storms, if we trust in him. In the midst of even the most difficult circumstances of life, if we lean or learn to depend on God and to trust him, God's keeping hand will sustain us. If we learn to depend on God, we will have peace of mind and peace in our hearts. People around us may look at us and say, the pressure must have gotten to their minds, because no one in their right mind can be that calm and have that much peace in those kinds of circumstances. While others around us may be struggling with problems and fretting about circumstances, if we trust in God, we can go to bed and rest. We can have peace in the midst of our storm. if we trust in God's keeping hand. Psalms 34 and 24, 37 and 24 says this, though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. God's hand of security. John 10 and verse 29, my Father, who has given them to me, is greater than all, and no one is able to snatch them out of my Father's hand. You see, nothing can take you out of the hand of God but yourself. God has a hand of provision. Psalms 145 and verse 16. You open your hand and satisfy the desire of every living thing. Psalms 104 verse 28 says, what you give them, they gather in. You open your hand, they are filled with good. I want to close with this. We've heard the expression to give someone a helping hand. And when we need help, we might say to someone, hey, give me a hand. For example, if I were trying to move a piano, I might ask someone, will you give me a hand with this? Since I wouldn't be able to move the piano by myself, I would need some help in order to move it. I'd have to ask for help. Many times with God, we expect Him to automatically give us a helping hand every time we get into trouble, without even asking Him to help us. The Bible says this in James 4 and 2, you have not because you ask not. So don't forget this week that God has a creating hand. He has a delivering hand. He has a sustaining or keeping hand. He has a hand of security. And yes, He has a hand of provision. May the Lord bless you as you call upon God to extend His hand toward you in whatever circumstances you may be facing.